Yo, home channel. Today we have a Moth KO Venom because unfortunately the real figure is pretty expensive, and you know me, I am not afraid to dip my little toes into some of that Chinese plastics. So this is based on the Mafex Venom. I do think he is a really good pickup, especially for like 30 bucks. I got mine for like 25, but yeah. So obviously being KO, there are going to be some issues with it. I'll go over those later. But for right now, the sculpt, I do think it's really solid. You can see this is just a normal Venom. This is based on the Mark Bagley art. I believe that's his name. But this is like the original appearance of Venom. So you can see he's not that tall. He's not that big. He's just kind of a big dude that has like kind of a skin tight suit on. That's how Eddie Brock used to be portrayed. But moving on to the sculpt, you can see the face is pretty creepy. You got the Venom eyes painted nice. You got the teeth. You got those big old lips. You can see the cracked smile that goes all the way up. The logo you can see is painted nicely. There is a bit of excess right there, but it's not enough to, you know, really annoy me. On the back, the logo is also painted nicely. And on the sides, they are painted cleanly as well. So overall, this figure is pretty simple. I think the biggest paint issue is on some of the hands. This triangle is a little small, but that doesn't really bother me. The figure also has this kind of blue hue to it. It's a little harder to pick up, but on camera, but in person you can really see this figure is almost blue. This figure is bluer than he is black, but I still think it's really cool. Articulation wise, he is a bit limited because of his super buff sculpt, but you can still get some movement out of it. So the neck can move all the way up. You can move down. You can look side to side. He does have some tilt to it. So these butterfly joints are actually really useful for moving the arms back and forth. They can shift all the way around. It's the same on both sides. It is just tight on mine. So give me a sec. It is just really tight on mine. I will have to put in some oil or heat that up. You just saw the arms can do a clean T pose. He has a tight bicep sole. You can see these are creaking, but he does have a bicep sole. Double jointed elbows that bend in way past 90, and he has the usual 1/12 wrist peg. Well, I didn't show it off, but he has the usual 1/12 wrist peg that can move in any direction. So there's a little flexing pose. His torso is loose, but that's pretty much the only, well, his torso and ankle are loose, but those are the only loose pieces on my copy of this figure. The top part can crunch forward, it can move back, it can turn side to side a bit, and it does have some tilt. The bottom part also crunches forward, so you can get a deep crunch right there. It moves back, it turns side to side, and it does tilt. I said those in a backwards order. He turns side to side, he does tilt. So you can get a deep crunch there. He has drop down hips that allow the leg to be pushed up pretty far. You do push into this underwear crotch piece though, so be careful of that. He has thigh swivel, double jointed knees that bend in deep. You can hear that creak alongside it. And I'll show off the loose ankle. So I'm pretty sure it's just the joint doesn't want to go in all the way, but you can see the ankles move down, they move up, they turn side to side, and they obviously, well, spin, as you just saw. He has toe movement as well, so that is pretty cool. So overall, this figure is pretty dope. You know, we'll pose him as Eddie Brock, just flexing, you know, trying to show that he's superior to Spider-Man in pretty much every way. We'll get a better flex going on here. So there's that. We'll move the leg outward. The one thing I did notice is on my copy, the legs don't really move outward. I don't know if that's the mold issue, because I do know Mafex, they have a cut in these like ball peg areas where it's meant to go up. So yeah, so mine doesn't really have that. I don't really mind it, but let's get him standing at least. Hold on. I don't mind it until I can't get an accurate pose, so we'll just kind of do something like this. So in a failed attempt to show how dynamic he was, he ended up falling over, and he can stand pretty cool, though this still is a decent figure. Those loose ankles are an issue, but I'll fix that on my own end. He does come with two alternate head sculpts. He has this Venom one where the mouth is open. You can see because this is based on older comic art, he doesn't have some crazy tongue or anything. This is more of a smile. You know, he sees his buddy Spider-Man. He's thinking of ways to torture him. I like the pink in there. It's nice and painted. There's no splotches on the teeth at all. But yeah, this head is really dope. He has an unmasked Eddie Brock sculpt. And for being a knockoff, this actually isn't that bad. The one issue is the eyes do point in a different direction. But if you have him like looking down or something, you wouldn't really notice it. But I mean, the hair is painted pretty well. There's no real splotches. There's a bit of overpaint skin on the hair, but it's still this nice, you know, like orangey yellow color. His nose and detailed lip colors are nice. His well, that's not good. Excuse that, but like I said, his neck isn't really painted the same as the head because this is just skin tone paint on a black neck. Oh, it's actually the opposite. It's black paint on a skin neck. The paint, the skin tones don't really match up, but I mean, I think it can get away with it being a KO and all. This head could have came out a lot worse. He does come with a lot of hands. He has these 2 hands he does come with. These are just, usual Venom, being creepy, grabbing stuff, just, clawing at things. These are usual Venom hands. The white is painted very nice in the back. These are more dynamic, kind of like reaching out or maybe shooting web hands. So yeah, pretty cool. He interestingly has trigger fingers, which I hadn't considered that like normal Venom uses guns, but I guess you can make him use guns. So this is pretty cool. It is softer plastic, or not softer. This is firmer plastic, so be careful, you want to break the figure. Then he has regular gripping hands for webs, swords, whatever you want to make him hold. This could be Agent Venom if you really want to do that, but I mean, it's up to you. Again, the white is painted nicely. He does also have magnetic hands. These magnets are actually pretty strong, and these are based on the regular claw hand, so that's pretty cool. They hold on to stuff. I have this magnet stamp, you can see, or metal stamp. Holds on nicely. And alongside that, he does have these magnetic feet. They are just your regular feet with magnets on the bottom, and these ones also stick pretty well. So you can get a whole display going on here. Venom just, crawling, looking for Spider-Man, doing creepy stuff, so that's pretty cool. And then I think my favorite part about this figure, other than the figure itself, is his dynamic webs. So he does have this shooting one that you're meant to wrap around the forearm. This is where you put the arm in, attach the hand. You get that. You get another one that's similar. I think this is meant for grabbing, because if you try to connect the hand to it, if you try to connect the hand to it, it just doesn't really work. Sorry about that. So I think this is for a web swinging one. He has this one that I know for sure is web swinging. You're supposed to put the hand right here, so there's like a bunch of excess, while this is like the the swingy part. And he has this web that you can just do whatever with. I don't really know what this is supposed to be. Looks like a thumbs up, but there's a thumbs up web. You can just do what you want with it, wrap Spider-Man up, do whatever you need to. But now we can move on to size comparisons. So there you're standing with some alternate parts on him. We'll compare him to some CT Mafex figures. So while these aren't made by the same company, it's still kind of the same brand of, fake Mafex. So there is compared to the CT black and red suit, or black and blue suit. Red and blue suit, geez, sorry. Having a tough time today, all right. And here he is compared to the CT Miles. So this isn't a bad look. Miles is a bit forward because he's going to fall over. But I do think this Venom is a bit on the small side, even with these smaller end figures. Oh, and then he's also him compared to the CT black suit. So ignore all the stuff on him. This is all custom. I made a few videos on this. These are shorts, though. So we just kind of... You can see they are a different shade of blue. This one's more dark. This one's kind of has a bluer hue to it. I do think they still look cool together. Let me stand them back up. So yeah, this Venom is a bit on the short side, even compared to like figures outside of the Mafex brand. Here he is compared to a Marvel Legends, just regular comic Venom. And then just for fun, grab him. Here he is compared to the biggest figure in my collection so far. This is the Marvel Legends movie Carnage, and you can see he's having trouble standing because he has all the tendrils on him. He barely even fits in the frame, and yeah, this Venom is going to get absolutely wiped by this Carnage. You can see how much taller he is. So yeah, that's definitely something to consider if you're going to get this. Here he is compared to an SHF. His hand is missing, hold on. Here he is compared to an SHF Spider-Man. So yeah, this Venom is a bit on the smaller side, but I do think you could still make it work. Especially since this is based on the comic Venom, where for his first appearance, well, he wasn't really that much bigger than Eddie Brock or Spider-Man. He was just really buffer. He was stronger. You can see the muscles. You can see the clear muscles on the back. So yeah, this figure still is really cool. For a fake, I can definitely recommend picking him up. Just again, keep your expectations relatively low. I did get a better copy out of the fakes, but I mean, don't expect too much. You are paying like 30 bucks for a figure that should be, literally almost 100. The only issues I have on mine are the loose ankle and the fact that the head, sometimes you pop them off, this peg will come with it. It's notable on this head that the peg comes with it. Other than that, I really can't say much bad about this figure. I mean, like I said, you're paying like 30 bucks for a figure that literally should be 100. This still is a really good pickup, especially if you already have a few other fake CTs. This isn't made by CT, don't be fooled. This is made by a company that's literally just called Maf. So yeah, it is a little lower quality than the CTs, but still this is a great pickup. Hope you enjoy the pictures in the end. Thank you all for watching. I think we're almost at 400 subscribers, and we have a lot of followers on TikTok. So thank you for those that follow my TikTok. But yeah, stay safe out there, and God bless.